My name is Edwin Patterson. I'm the Director of Technology Management at PGT Trucking. We're in the flatbed trucking business. We haul big things, steel coils, lumber, building materials. Our primary system for dispatch is limiting in some ways. It doesn't do a lot of the functions that we need, so we have a lot of folks that do their work in spreadsheets in some areas, some data that their system just can't hold. So we take all those functions and put them into Vinyl and use it to fill the gaps for what our system's doing, so that we also pull from other systems, so that we pull that data in and mix it with the data from our primary system, so that we sort of keep everything in one bucket. So yes, we definitely have used Vinyl to connect different systems, especially pulling data from multiple places. Our main system, as well as even just some spreadsheets that are out there. We were able to pull that all in and view statistics about different things from different places, all in one nice view. So I think the most valuable feature really are two of them. The ability to pull data from a bunch of different places and put it together, as well as the speed at which you can get a new app developed. So instead of waiting months for this new app to come out, if you have an internal team putting it together, you can roll it out in weeks. I mean, we've even seen days, literally live with people in the business sitting down. No, I don't like that feature, and they say, okay, well, click, and it's fixed. Right there in front of them, and it's sort of amazing how fast you can really make changes to it. So a good example of the way it's improved our business is we can now report on the actual cost of moving a load. We didn't have all that data because it was in too many different places, so we couldn't do a good report without a lot of manual effort. Now it's very simple. We get a simple report. This is how much it costs to move this load, and then from that we can determine profitability. We can now report quickly on the cost of loads. Pulling in costs, for example, such as doing the cost to get a permit if it's an oversized load. We now can roll that in with the rest of the cost of paying the driver and the fuel and whatnot. So yes, this product has definitely improved our ability to deploy apps quickly, for sure. If you're talking some of the things that used to take weeks, we can now probably do in days. The projects that would take months, now we're looking at weeks. And actually, it's sort of spawned a whole new section of our IT business. So it hasn't really focused it, but it's created new ones. Whereas we wouldn't have been attacking these problems before, we now are, because we now have a tool that we can use to fix things with. The solution's very stable. We haven't had any major hiccups or downtime or outages with it. And we've thrown some things at it. I mean, if you get a circular job that's kind of stuck in itself, you might have a problem with that. That's more the fault of the developer as opposed to the platform. So we're about a year into using the solution, so the scalability isn't something we've really pushed. We're sort of tipping our toe in the water right now, but it's met our needs for sure. As much as we've needed to, it's scaled up to it. Tech support has been great for this company. Anything we've had, we've gotten prompt responses. We've gotten the answers we needed in a timely fashion. So yeah, tech support for it is absolute top notch. We got some help from Zudy themselves for some help, especially building our first app, and I guess that's the way they like to do it. So we learned some things, they showed us some things, and the first app we built was mostly built by them, and it was rock solid. Yeah, the initial setup was not that complicated. I mean, it was basically no more complicated than setting up any web app would be. I wouldn't say it was any more or less than what you would expect. So some new features I think I'd really like to see is visibility into running jobs, so that we can see what the status is, or it's not it's not stuck. It's in its process and doing its thing, or how much longer it's going to take. I'd also like to see a native calendaring function, so we can put calendars into our apps, with maybe even recurring tasks or appointments and that sort of thing. We'd also like to see multi-select lists, the users being able to pick multiple things to filter on and get a list and be able to export that list. So I think the major symptom that made us realize we needed something was that a lot of folks were doing their work in Excel, and we had data in all different places. We had it, and this person had a spreadsheet here, this one was up in a Google Doc, and it was just all over the place. And when the data's there, you can't get to it and you can't report on it. So it was pretty obvious to us that, hey, we need to do something, and let's bring this data in to one central place. Yeah, before Vinyl, we didn't really have a solution to do these kind of things. So we were just doing everything manually on paper or in Excel. So I think we chose Zudy because of the subscription model. It was easier to get into as opposed to a big purchase. And really the competing products either weren't as, didn't have as much features, or it was the other was a complete package. You were buying a complete software package that was already configured, and then you would customize it. Whereas this, you can sort of take, baby steps to get to where you want to go. Do a little piece at a time. Take one issue, take one problem, fix that, and then as it gradually grows into a full solution, rather than trying to, fit this huge solution in all at once. Well, the licensing costs we pay are, I believe it's about $5,000 a month for it. It's on a quarterly basis, and we've been doing it for about a year now, so the prices have remained steady. We feel that's a reasonable cost for what we're getting, for sure, because it's unlimited users. So, as big as you want to make it, you're not constrained by a per user licensing cost or any of those other restrictions, so that that's going to stifle your development. So I would say vinyl hasn't necessarily increased productivity for us, but that's because right now we're sort of doing things we haven't done before. We haven't really attacked the the major issues yet so much as we are actually doing things we haven't been able to before. So vinyl has definitely increased user satisfaction. We're bringing the users and getting them involved in the development process, so we're making less mistakes in the process, and we're also getting them excited about it because they can see what's happening and they have their input. So it's the features they want, not what IT thinks they want. So they get definitely more excited about it. So I'd say our iterations are definitely faster. Prior developing in a different system, we're talking, if we needed to update software, you're talking weeks, and with vinyl you're talking days or weeks potentially. Advice I would give to a colleague researching for a software solution is, if you're looking for something that doesn't require a specialized programming language, and you want something that you can develop quickly in, and you want something that's going to pull data from a bunch of different places, I think vinyl's a good option. Yeah, I would rate vinyl as a 9, not a 10, because nobody's perfect, but it's going to be huge for us.